Well, hey everybody, it's Paul. Welcome to the channel. See, I'm taking a deep breath automatically, I was told by a friend of mine, Sally Beth, about, deep breathing, and it is relaxing, and it does help a lot. And so, like, whenever you have stressful days, it's like I do a little bit of that subconsciously now. Even it just happens, and I just know it's like I was putting the camera. It's like I do these videos because it actually helps me unwind. It honestly relaxes me. So I'm not trying to be selfish, but I get a lot out of the videos myself, So here's the thing. I just took a shower. I've been running around all day. Just took a shower. And, I'm usually in a snuggly sweatshirt because it's always freezing here. But after a shower, it's like you get almost too hot. So I'm like, I'm too hot for a sweatshirt. I'll just put on a t-shirt and do a real quick video. I already had my candles going from earlier. I'm trying to use this up. This kind of, it's almost like a Christmassy kind of scent. It's that 3-wick one. And it's only got about this much wax in it. So, but, it doesn't have enough wax where I want it, because, like, the wicks only let them get so low, and then they won't burn anymore. So then I melt and I make new candles. And that's fun to do. That'll be a different video, though. So I'm just trying to get rid of that one. So I had it burning earlier today, and if you try to put out the 3 wicks, it about starts the smoke detectors. I mean, it billows. So it's just one of those days, no matter how much you run, you feel like the gerbil on the wheel that's just going and going but getting nowhere. And that's kind of like, it's like I'm running in mud. It's like quicksand, and the more and faster you struggle and try, the slower you actually seem to go sometimes. And that's what it's been like today. There's always just like one more thing that you want to do, one more thing that you need to do. So, but like it's well after midnight, I'm like, okay, get a quick shower, get in here, do a quick video. Although I didn't have anything, a lot of times, like, I'll brainstorm and try to think of things ahead of time. I didn't have anything planned per se. I got a comment from my friend and supporter on here, Rose, and she was saying she suggested that I do some like car review kind of videos, and that, I love getting suggestions and I aim to please. But like I was telling her, I don't have like any vintage fancy car. I've got the old H3. It's not old enough to be a classic. It's just old. Now I got my old truck, and that's in the same boat as the Hummer. Just old. So nothing cool about them. But and then oh god. See what I mean? I may not even make it through this video. Should I cut out the yawns or leave them? I don't know. And I'm just getting giddy, I can tell it. And then I've got a Kia, and that's a boring, you can't get any much boring, right? It's like a station wagon minivan type of thing. So, but I was thinking, at first I thought about, like, Ben has some Hot Wheels cars, so I may get some of those out. That'd be kind of cool. And I went to a car show last year when I first got the Ronin, the gyro, the gimbal, and there is always in the summer a local car show. So every Wednesday, me and Ben went up there and I did some filming. So what I thought is, what I may do is, if I can get the footage up here and I'm using DaVinci and get it figured out, hopefully I can run a little bit of that video and I'll just talk. I won't be talking about the video per se. I did that, and I have the video out there. If anybody care to see it, I'll try to think to link that in there. But that's where I did kind of narrate it as I went along, sort of. But this way, I thought at least I could just tell you about some of the cars I've owned. And oh no, guys, this may be a really short video. I mean, I don't know how long my camera will film me if I fall asleep in my chair. The other day I was doing a video and people were guessing right. They're like, you were about falling asleep. It's like, I always do. I put myself right out and never fails editing. I always, my head will be numb, I'll snap up. So I don't know half the time. It's usually so late, I don't even go back to, I should, to see. I'm sure there's a lot of times where I leave in silly stuff that I wanted to cut out, and I cut out stuff I wanted to leave in because, it's usually like 3, 4 before, a lot of times before I get done editing. And then it's like, yeah, it's a vicious, it's like, it's the whole thing takes way longer than anybody would ever. Just the rendering it takes so long, and then the uploads and yada yada. But I love doing it. I'm not complaining. I am complaining, but I'm not seriously about it. It's like that old Joe Walsh song where he says, life's been good to me so far. He says, he can't complain, but sometimes I still do. That's, I mean, it just seems like natural human nature, right, to sometimes complain. So anyways, I had still pictures that I took at the same time as the video. And of course, I have a few of them, but, oh, sorry, this is not good. I did not get my nap today. I usually keep my photos, a lot of them, but I'm like, when am I ever going to need all these stills of vehicles? And I got the video, and no, I wish I had them because it would have worked out a lot better. But anyways, you can see some classic cars, I guess, as I yammer. But my first car, and every guy probably remembers his first car, and I didn't have the money. Like, there were guys in high school that would, put on headers and straight exhausts, or those, like, I think they call them cherry bomb, something like they're mufflers, but I mean, it was like 9/10 of a way of just being a straight pipe with just a little, and I just didn't have the money, to do any of that stuff. So I had a 77, I believe it. Oh, good night. I'm telling you, this is not plain. You gotta have thick skin and no shame to do this. I mean, as guys say, if anybody ever said when I had a nice big office and I was a stockbroker, and they said you'd be making silly videos, talking about the old days. I feel like the guy, you ever hear the Bruce Springsteen song about the glory days, and I sound like one of those guys that just like peaked too soon and just lives in the past. I'm not like that. I mean, I don't want to be that guy, but sometimes it seems like, I don't know, as you get older, you just start talking about the past. But anyway, I had a Nova, a 77, I believe it was. I'm going to have to cut some of these. And I think when I tried to sell it, I think I always was confused, and even to this day, I'd have to go look on the internet. But it had like those fins on the side of the between the front side window and the passenger side window, and I had that section there, and I had like louvers or whatever. And I believe it is a 77, but it could have been a 79. It was used. Like I say, I didn't have any money, and I love that car. It was gold, which, I mean, it would have been cool, right, if it was black. But you know what? I just loved that car. It was gold, and it did not have, like, the fast engine. I think it was, like, the 350 at the time, and it didn't have that. It just had the 305, and so it wasn't souped up or anything. And but it's funny, back then, we didn't think of it necessarily like we do now as like a muscle car. It was a car. It was like transportation. So this is like, but guys did soup them up. That was like a big deal back then. Your Novas were pretty popular. Of course, one of my favorites was the Chevelle with the round tail lights. Those were sweet cars. And my buddy had a Monte Carlo, the older, I think 71 or so, which had the cool tail lights, the blocky tail lights in the back. But it was, the older style and then they went to the newer, but later, I don't know. But he had the older style, which I was more fond of. And like I say, the Chevelles. I guess my dad sold cars, so he sold Chevys. So I guess, I don't know, I was always kind of partial towards Chevys. But, Ford had their Mustang that was real popular, and Dodge had theirs and whatnot. But, so like, and I know one of my high school people, Kevin, I think his Great Lakes Honey is what he goes by, but maybe he'll remember back in the day, Telegraph, like I lived in Allen Park, but we went to Melvindale schools, and anyway, some of the towns around there were Dearborn, which a lot of people are familiar with Dearborn, and Dearborn Heights. So they had this road called Telegraph back then. I mean, back then it's still there, but I'm nowhere around there now. But so Telegraph was, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 lanes, then a grass median, then 2 or 3 lanes. I can't remember exactly. It was wide, must have been 3 lanes at least. And like every mile, like they had. It was basically uninterrupted for a mile, and in parts, and it was straight, and all that good stuff. It's just so it was a natural place for guys would always go out, and people that had their souped up cars would go out there and kind of race, from light to light or whatever. You just unofficial. You just pull up. So many people were cruising Telegraph, right? That, sometimes you would just end up next to another, hot car or whatever, and they just both punch it at the green. And, of course, there were cops, so you kind of had to keep it. It wasn't, it was a busy road, but, it died down at night. So a lot of people enjoyed cruising Telegraph. That was one of the things. There wasn't a whole lot to do, right? There was no Xbox, no computer, no multiplayer games to jump on. I mean, it was Atari was just coming out, so there wasn't a whole lot else that people cruise Telegraph. But so it was like harmless fun, but it was kind of like a ritual that people did back then. So, but I had that 77 Nova, which I loved it, and I wish I had photographs. I got rid of so many photographs, they kind of yellow and they don't mean as much. And then I'm talking, what, 35 years ago? I don't know. Too long ago to remember. Um, so like you throw out so much of that stuff, right? And, at the time, like it doesn't mean as much, but then when you get older, you're like, yeah, I'd like to, like the glory days, show you guys some of the photographs. Um, so I had that car for a long time. That was, my high school car. And then, like I say, my dad sold cars, so they could every once in a while. Couldn't do it too often because the dealership wanted to make money on them. But like, if he saw a decent car come in on a trade, he would give the person whatever the dealer was going to give the person, or maybe a little extra, and then like you would buy it before the dealer would get it, so then you wouldn't have to pay the markup or whatever. So he sold a lot of cars, and I guess he let him do that or whatever. So every so often, if he saw a decent one come in for a decent price, we would get that or whatever. So I had a Monte Carlo, but like say it wasn't the cool style like the 71 or whatever like my buddy had. It was the later, which you kind of look more not as cool, I guess, but still be really cool today, but it wasn't as cool. So anyway, that car got stolen. It was, so somebody must have thought it looked cool, right, or whatever. But it had like, between the passenger side window and then where it goes to the trunk, it had like that area, and it was like painted, but then it had like a piece of leather, like type material that was white. The car was like light baby blue or something, and that was white, and it went across, and I thought, well, it was a sharp, it was a pretty good car. I love that car too. Holy moly, I've been talking for a long time. Wow, really? It seemed like I just got started. I'm really falling into this old guy stuff. It's like you start talking about the old days and you get lost in it or something. I mean, it's showing like this thing's like 20 minutes long. I'm going to have to edit it way down. But, I don't know. I do not know how that happened. I just thought I had like 6 minutes in. I can't see without my glasses, so I just see the red light flashing as it's recording, and I can't see what's ticking up to. It's just some of my real quick memories, right? Remembrances of glory days gone by. Funner cars. Cars were more fun back then, but of course, being young back then was nice. So. Anyways, I better get off of here before I still gotta edit this. So I hope you guys have a great night, and I appreciate everybody that tunes in. And Rose, I will try to do a better job and try to either get some pictures or some sort of better props or something. But that was a couple cars I had in my youth. So, anyways, I always appreciate you guys stopping by, and until next time, we'll see you.